right, so we'll start with the granola. So the granola we've got is orange and cacao. It's supplied by our company, the Wild. So they've given us a couple of samples, and this one here, as I say, is the orange and cacao. So an average portion size for this is 40 grams, which is a little bit less than that.
So 40 grams, just to get a kind of visual, for something like a muesli or granola, 40 grams is usually a tablespoon plus a teaspoon. For a lot of people that can be still too much, depending on what else you do add into it. But this serving size here we've chosen to go with because in a restaurant situation, you're always going to be presented with much more than the average serving size. So again, it's something to sort of get your head around looking at this on a plate. This is about 3 or 4 servings.
All right, so along with the base muesli here, we've got a selection of fresh fruits. So this is the bit where you can be as creative as you want. You can use apple, banana, oranges, mandarin segments, other berries. I've just picked up some fresh ingredients that were at the markets. So we've got some figs, berries, which are really high in your vitamins. I've got some goji berries, which I've soaked in apple cider vinegar. And the benefit of doing the apple cider vinegar over water is that it's going to slow down your the release of sugar into your blood. So if you're a diabetic or you just want to keep a constant sugar level through the day, that's the best way to go about that. I've also got some honey and some milk. So these are things that you don't have to have, but you can if you choose to add them in. So
really what you're aiming for is getting the most out of every mouthful. I know that that's something through WLSA that we really try to push that message a lot, which is making sure that every mouthful counts and you're getting the most out of every meal that you're having. So the reason why we have chosen the fruits that we have with this particular granola is that, as you can see, it's chocolatey. It's got some cacao or some cocoa in it, which a lot of granolas do, which is nice and high in iron. So the reason we've chosen the figs and the berries is because they are nice and high in vitamin C, which helps you absorb iron. So it's a way of making sure you're increasing your nutrient absorption in every meal that you're having. And like Ryan said, with the goji berries, soaking them in a lemon juice or an apple cider vinegar will actually delay how fast sugars and carbohydrates end up in your bloodstream. So not only for diabetics is that important, for really for everybody it's quite important, because what that means is that you're having sustained energy release. So if we're looking at that for breakfast and we're starting our day with something like that, it's going to set us up for sustained energy during the day.
So the other flavors that these guys have do slightly different things. You've got lime and coconut. We've got a porridge option. There's a bircher option. So there's a couple of different ways you can use these products for your breakfast. Porridge, you can cook that with any sort of milk you want, with water. Same with the bircher, you can soak that in juice, water, soy milk, anything you want. So we were discussing also with if you want to add nuts and things, if you're doing a soaked option, to roast the nuts or have them raw separately from being soaked. If you start soaking too many nuts, they lose a lot of their nutritional properties and they don't taste as good. So with nuts raw is better. And as I say, we've chosen some really fresh, low sugar options just to really push that first meal of the day.
Yeah. Another good thing about starting your day with something like a muesli or granola is that it's quite inclusive. So you've got some good quality carbohydrates, which are usually coming from the oats or possibly buckwheat or rice flakes. But then this one here is a buckwheat base because it's gluten-free. So most gluten-free products will not have oats because there can still be some trace amounts. But most of the granolas you find will have an oat base to them, which is where you're going to get a lot of your nice carbohydrates from. There's also usually a nice protein content with some of the seeds and the nuts, and you're also going to get some healthy fats out of those as well. So you've got quite a balanced sort of form of nutrition in a small volume with something like that. So we'll come back to that because we've got some taste testers as well. We might move on to our second option.
All right. So